This is for DMs who are going to run this adventure. Entering the town of Phandalin from the north, if you look at this map, you will see that the Tribord Trail ends in the village at the top, and then if the main objective is to get this cart of provisions to Barthens, and they're pretty much top centre, but I would describe the clinking of metal coming from down the lane on their right, where the smith is at, looking down that road, a long stone wall down the side, perhaps ending in a house which seems to be surrounded by an apple orchard, and you can see the red fruits from afar, maybe outside of Barthen's provisions. A cart is already being unloaded. Two humans called Ander and Thistle are probably unloading outside and carrying into the store. Inside the store is all manner of things to a certain price cap. No magic weapons, no potions, so to speak. Anything that's 25 gold or under. Of course you can scratch that and do what you want. If your party needs health potions, they sell health potions, okay? So Elmina Barthen will... Oh, thank you, you must have brought some more things. I was expecting Gundren to bring it himself. Here's 10 gold to each character. Maybe she mutters about Gundren being so excited to be back over here with his brothers. Perhaps Sildar is with them and will say, I'm sorry to report that Gundren is missing. Sildar will go over to the Stonehill Inn. Elmina will say that Gundren's brothers are actually camped just outside of town, apparently. They're due to come back into town to restock any day now. If you get into some sort of a dialogue, this is probably the first time you will hear about the Redbrand. The Redbrands are basically running this town, and they're the villains of this particular chapter. All over town you'll hear about the Redbrands, you'll even see them, so it's good to say to the characters, you know, somebody with a red bandana on or something gives you a bit of stink eye as you walk through town. You might even hear shouting in the street at some regular commoners, or a bit of argy-bargy, a bit of bullying going on, and see how the characters react from the off. The Sleeping Giant is the local pub, and that's where things escalate. If they show no sign of following that thread, let them go about their day, but force some sort of confrontation on them, even if it's just the Redbrands checking them out. So, strangers, what business have you got in this neck of the woods? The Redbrands hide out under Tresenda Manor, and that is high up on a hill at the east end of the village. It's actually a town. So if they do follow the thread of the Lion Shield Costa, where they've seen crates of theirs, they might walk down the main street past the pub where raucous music, laughter and revelry is taking place all kinds of the day. They will pass a shrine of luck. Sister Gariel may be praying at the shrine, but she does have her own place. Now, she is a harper, and if you know anything about the harpers, they do good, but on a very undercover, non-braggy type of way. She does have a quest for adventurers, so wait until they interact with the shrine or Sister Gariel before getting into a conversation and saying, hey adventurers, I actually have something you could help with. She will give them 3 health potions, so they may have their ears turned on that. Looking across the shrine, you can probably look down at the town green where children will be playing, people eating. The Lion Shield Costa up ahead has the same blue lion hanging and swinging outside of the shop that you saw on the crate. A human woman named Linene Greywind runs that. She is the one who carries the weapons and armour. She's been having her supply carts ransacked by goblins, and she knows the thing is getting stolen, she just doesn't know where, and they have that information, don't they? She'll offer the characters 50 gold to do something to make sure crates and carts get through. She does have morals though, and any bad characters in the party, she probably won't sell weapons to. She doesn't want more trouble. The Redbrands are trouble enough in this town. She will say, if I were you, I'd keep away from the Sleeping Giant tap house. Lillian's house is just up a little bit behind Lion Shield Costa. Maybe the smell of sawdust and wood is coming out of the woodworkers building. Now on that corner is kind of the town hall, and outside is a big board with like quests and jobs on it. The town master is always changing. Currently, it's a local bank manager. Harbin Wester is cheerful enough, but he is a coward. He doesn't really like violence. But he will play down problems with the Redbrands in the town because he doesn't know how to handle it. So he will say, they're just boys having fun. It's not that bad. But if pushed, he'll say, I know, I just don't have the muscle, I can't do anything about it. Now, Harbin does have 2 spare jail cells, so if the players round up some Redbrands, he can lock them up. One of the main quests he has on the job board outside is worth 100 gold. He wants someone to go up to Wyvern Tor to stop a strange goblin, an ogre and bugbears who are causing havoc. Now, although Sildar starts at the pub, when he's healed, like he's long rested overnight, he will then move to the Townmaster's Hall. He is a member of the Lord's Alliance, who are, is conglomerate the word? They have all various cities' heads come together to form an alliance. Sildar wants Phandalin to become much better known, a much bigger deal. After taking care of Cragmore hideout, he will offer them 500 gold to find Cragmore Castle, presumably where that King Groll, is. He says you'll probably find more goblins ambushing people up the Tribord Trail again, and hopefully follow them back to the castle if they can find it. So if you remember, Sildar is looking for a wizard called Iarno Albrek, described as a short-bearded human wizard in his 30s. In the pub, Sildar heard that he was recently seen up by Tresenda Manor, so that's another reason to head that way. Sildar will actually pay another 200 gold if they eliminate the Redbrands. Now, just to say, in the Essentials kit, the adventure there has Harbin Wester dish out other quests, so if you wanted to embellish this Phandalin campaign, you can take the handout quests from the Essential kit and also use them in this town, but you're kind of running two overlapping quests at once. You could think of it as a DLC expansion. Okay, heading along past Harbin Wester's home is Alderleaf Farm. Colleen Alderleaf is a halfling farmer. She will offer these new visitors lodgings in her hayloft for free. Her son Car is a halfling lad and is very adventurous, wants to be an adventurer himself. If he's overhearing any conversation between his mum and the adventurers, or however you want to drop it in, the boy will say, I was playing up near the manor. These big scary bandits were meeting up with the Redbrands. They didn't see me, but it was close. I can take you up there if you want. Show you this tunnel where a goblin went in. He had glowing hands. Colleen might even suggest her druid friend, Rydoth, to give the location of Cragmore Castle, because that guy knows all around here. Rydoth recently went through the woods to a place called Thunder Tree. It's about 50 miles from where you are. Down near the Miners' Trail is the Miner Exchange. A human woman, Halia Thornton, deals in the gems that are got from mining and pays out for things that are found down there. She works for the Zentarim, really. They're undercover, and they are a guild who will do anything, even break the law, even assassinate, to get the job done. All the other guilds don't like their methods, but they do get the work done. They do help, and sometimes they're the only ones who can do certain missions. But really, everyone else is trying to do it legally. They bend and break the rules. She's a very strong woman. She's pretty much the muscle of this whole play. She will immediately sell out the ruffians to the adventurers and say, look, they stay at the pub, they seem to have a base of operations under the manor. I will give you 100 gold myself if you get rid of them. Really? She is wanting to become their new leader. The current leader is nicknamed Glassstaff. Spoiler alert, Iarno Albrek the wizard is Glassstaff. The Sleeping Giant is a horrible little pub, put out of business by the Stonehill Inn. It's run by an orc named Greska, and there's always violence inside. Now, up at Edomath Orchard, which they saw on entering the town, there's a retired adventurer, actually a drow. He's retired and just works on the orchard, staying out of trouble. He is actually a member of the Order of the Gauntlet, very loud, braggy, Catholic Church kind of law and order, paladin type bunch. Seeker of justice, smiter of evil. He keeps his eye on things and probably reports back to the Order. Being a drow, he has sunlight sensitivity, so in the day he'll have a hood up or something. His name is Daran Edomath. He will go over the same details about where the Redbrand ruffians hang out, or if this is the first place they go, he will tell them where they hang out. He will probably say to beware up the road, the old Owl Well. Many undead have been chasing people away up there. There's some digging going on. He doesn't know much more than that. He's heard rumour. He's heard from the Order, perhaps. Now, if they're up to it, he will say, fine, go, take a look. But he is worried that dangerous magic might be up there. If they do this, he will actually give them boots of striding and springing. He could even make people of good alignment a member of the order themselves. That gives you a rough idea of what's where in the town. If you want to look deeper, come with me. Here is a small example of my Phandalin map that I put together. We have farm, houses and shops. Maybe this is where Barthen has the two people unloading the cart. Basically different people wandering around the town. Before you get to the Stonehill Inn, which is frequented mostly by decent people, with some Redbrands in. And then the darker Sleeping Giant, probably completely taken over by ruffians. Your players will make their way anywhere. You don't know where they're going to go. Ultimately, they will encounter one or two Redbrands, throwing their weight around a bit as the players journey around. Ending up in the more decent pub, there might be a couple of Redbrands in. Try and make a fight ensue, and you can always get someone to shout or run to the other dodgy pub. It's really a case of letting your players walk around the village, town, I keep saying village, and finding things out as they go. I see this pub as a we don't want any trouble in here lads kind of a place, where the barman might whisper that they're causing trouble or they don't want any trouble tonight, just to go along with it. Keep the place quiet. But if they walk into this shady joint, it's Baldur's Bones being played and arm wrestles at the table, drinking contests, food eating contest, things of that nature. Baldur's Bones, you can actually play things like this. You can get 3d6, have each player roll 3d6. 18 is the number they want to get closest to, and on each time it's their turn, they can ask for another d6, and if they bust, that means they've gone over 18 and they're out. But closest to 18 wins. Blackjack, pretty much, yeah. You know, if there's drinking contests with con saves where if they get three fails to hit a certain DC, the DC gets higher every round, they're eventually sick. You know, 3 successes, you're fine, you're not sick. You keep going, I suppose, until someone is sick and someone isn't. Beer drinking contests or whatever, similar idea. I like to put arm wrestling in there. Three strength rolls or athletics rolls. 3 ticks, like death saves, 3 ticks and you're done. Or the first of 3 ticks wins, so it can keep going. Make sure the NPC is providing dialogue for how it's going. Oh, I got you there, pal. Oh, stronger than I thought you might be. You know, each time. You could do dexterity, knife throwing to the dartboard, have the bad guys cheat, have the bad guys spike their drinks. You got many options. But a fight will break out, probably. Have some of them run off to Tresenda Manor, their base, so that they can be followed, or even the footprints can be followed. That's pretty much that. Let's look at some stats. Okay, a ruffian has studded leather armour. 3 8s, 24, 25, 6, 27 health in my world. They make 2 attacks, +4 and d6 +2 damage. Pretty easy to run at that, so shouldn't have too many problems there. Now, they have red cowls, red capes, and these are necessary for Tresenda Manor to not set off traps. These are like skeletons in a certain room which won't attack if you're dressed in red, or the red cowls. If the players are clever enough to say, tell me about the traps, what traps do we face, they would mention this, wear red. It's up to you if you give away that information. On a very good intimidation, I would. So what the Redbrands know when you're beating it out of them. They only know this guy's called Glassstaff, and he's the leader. He has a magical staff made of glass. They don't know he's really Iarno Albrek. Glassstaff's chambers are in the west. I mean, you've got the book, you probably know this. They talk about the mysterious figure called Spider, who is apparently paying them to keep adventurers and people's noses out. There's an eye monster in the lower complex, and prisoners are being held near the old crypts. We'll look into Tresenda Manor next, and probably then the side quest stuff. Click like if you found it useful for me. That's just nice. Doesn't do anything, it's just nice.